over the last 3 years, I've made a lot of money online. I've started multiple different businesses, some making 10K a month, some making 20K a month, some even scaling past 50K per month. And there's a common theme I've noticed amongst myself and the other successful people I've surrounded myself with, some being millionaires and some even being billionaires. And a commonality between those who make it and those that don't. Over the past couple of years, not only have I made a lot of money, I don't say this to sit here and be like, haha, fuck you. I just say it to give myself some credibility so you know why you should listen to me in the first place. Otherwise, no one gives a fuck. But I've also coached and talked to thousands of entrepreneurs, specifically agent owners, and I've got to see very closely firsthand what makes people win and what makes them not win. And the first thing I want to say is that I've done all this without meditating every single day, without reading 1,000 books, without taking cold showers, without being able to run a marathon in sub fucking 2 hours, and without being a fucking superhuman and doing all of these biohacking, stupid fucking bullshit things people always talk about. And the reason why I say that is to piss some of you off. Because some of you will sit here and go, well, Stefan, no, I swear by this. I swear that you can't drink out of a plastic water bottle, and you have to have a cold shower in the morning, and if you don't do this, eat this food, and do this way, and do this, you can't make money. Well, it's funny because actually when I talk to the people around me that make a lot of money, they don't sit there and say, well, the reason I make money is because I take a cold shower every morning, or the reason that, I'm so successful is because I only drink my water that's filtered through this A, B, C, D, E, F, G system, or the only reason why I'm successful is because I work out for 3 hours every morning and then ground myself and then do, no one fucking says that. Because guess what? That stuff doesn't matter. And we can say, and here's the thing, I understand. Trust me, I don't drink water out of plastic. I just show this as a demonstration. As a matter of fact, I make sure I track all my sleep, all the, you name it, right? All the fucking biohacking stuff, right? Like making sure you eat whole organic food, I do all that stuff, okay? But I wanna be extreme with my views to point an obvious flaw in a lot of people's lives, which is that they get way too carried away with the things that don't matter. Now granted, taking care of your health is very important, but in the terms of money making, in terms of making money, that stuff, taking a cold shower, running a fucking marathon, grounding yourself, meditating, doesn't make you more money. Right? If I sit here and meditate, after 10 minutes, there's no more money. If I check my phone, there's no more money in my bank account. Right? If I sit here and ground myself outside in the fucking snow, I don't magically walk inside and have $1 million of cash laying around. Okay? When I take a cold shower, I don't walk out of the cold shower with all of a sudden my Stripe account filled with an extra couple $100,000. Like that's just not how it works. And the thing is, a lot of you people that get so offended by this get so offended because you've adopted this philosophy and this identity, and that's who you are, and that's the success you cling on to because you don't make money. And so therefore you have to protect yourself and hide yourself behind these beliefs and say, well, no, they're important because of this and this and this. Instead of sitting here and realizing that, hey man, maybe these things are stupid, but aren't making me any more money, and trying to defend your beliefs. Maybe you can open your eyes for 1 minute and realize like, hey, because here's the deal. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. It's because earlier today, I was talking to some entrepreneurs who objectively I say maybe because I don't know, but they're talking about how they take cold showers and how they meditate all the time and how they read a bunch of books, right? And I'm not saying that the end all be all is comparing income, but when you compare income and even happiness levels, it wasn't even comparable, right? It just didn't even, like, you couldn't even compare. And it was like, I understand if you're doing it for the health benefits. 100%, great. The problem is most people in this day and age don't do things for health benefits anymore. They do it because they hope and they pray that, well, taking cold showers, well, some guy said it that makes $1 million, and therefore, if I take cold showers, I can be more like him. But what he forgets to mention, or what you forget to see, is that cold showers didn't make him $1 million. And the thing is, it tends to be a lot easier for us to take a cold shower than it is for us to do 200 cold calls. Despite the fact that taking a cold shower is hard, it's harder for us to do the things that actually matter. And we know this. That's why we sit here, and I know so many people. There's even this guy in one of my free communities I had who would send in this huge checklist every single day of all the things he did. Right? It was insane. It was like meditate, read, gratitude, journal, tell people I love them, gratefulness, grounding, cold shower, heat exposure, red therapy, only organic food, no sugar, all this stuff, right? But every single time there's one little box that said, like, I think it was like do the cold calls or something, and every single time that little box was red. Every single day that little box was red. It was red, it was red, it was red. It was never checked off. And a couple months goes by, and I asked this guy, hey, how's business going? Oh, yeah, man, I mean this and that, and like, I've been doing this, and like, like I was doing this, but like this happened, and I'm like, dude, how much money have you made? He's like, 0. It's like, you can do all these things so good and so well, yet still end up nowhere if you don't focus on the things that matter. And the thing is, most of us know the thing that matters because it's right now, it's the thing that you know you should be doing but aren't, but are convincing yourself it's okay because you're doing other things to substitute. You'll take your cold showers and you'll read your books and you'll meditate and you'll you'll still feel good at the end of the day because you did something, but you know you didn't do the thing you should be doing. But it's this mental masturbation loop because you did some things that were good, right? You did a cold shower, you read a book, etc., which are good things to do. But you didn't do the thing that truly, truly mattered. And that's where most people fail. And that's where they fall off, is they do everything to feed their brain, right? Feed them the dopamine that they did something good, that they're competent, that they validated, like, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm doing stuff. But in reality, they're not doing anything. As a matter of fact, entrepreneurship in and of itself is actually very boring. And that's why so many people fail, is because they try and spice it up. They try and always add things to it. But fundamentally, it's just really boring. It's doing the same stupid, boring thing for such a long time horizon that you get so good that everyone else drops off and that you just become the only option. Because you've just mastered the skill so well. Like, this is entrepreneurship. It's just boring. The best investors are the most boring investors. They just, like, if you fundamentally look at the best investors of the world, look at them. And it's not your Warren Buffett. He's amazing. But if you look at people like Eduardo Saverin, I think he is, rolled around, the best investor of all time. He turned $18,000 into a couple billion. It's one of the best investments of this entire history. There's even a book written about it. You go look it up. It's called like the $1 billion something. $1 billion. It's based on Eduardo Saverin. Okay, cool book. But it's just like, the point is that all Eduardo Saverin did is invest one time at the beginning of Facebook, what is now known as Meta, and he didn't sell forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And he did nothing. He just sat there on his booty, did nothing, and eventually sold and made a lot of money. And the thing is, that's how the best investments work. If you look at Warren Buffett, there's even time periods where for years on end he didn't buy a single stock. Why? Because it didn't meet his criteria. Well, that's not very fun. Imagine for a whole year, your company, your life is trading, it is investing, and you don't buy a single share for 3 whole years. I think it was even more. Imagine how boring that would be. Imagine how many of you couldn't do that. Even today, I looked at my crypto portfolio and I was like, wow, I'm up a lot. Like, holy fuck. I'm up a couple $1,000%. Not a couple $1,000, a couple 1,000%, which is insane, right? And I sat there and I was like, well, I could sell. What if I kept this for another 10 years? Imagine if I kept it for another 10 years, what would happen? I guess we'll find out after another 10 years. But I sat there and I was like, what's the fun thing to do? I was like, well, the fun thing is to sell. I was like, if the fun thing is to sell, then the right thing must be to hold. And so I'm holding. And I'm just going to keep holding forever. And guess what? That's boring. And it's not fun. And it's not entertaining. And it's not easy because your brain's telling you, no, sell. Because it wants some dopamine. It wants you to do something. But that's where people get caught. That's where people get caught, is that business is boring. Good businesses, for the most part, are really boring. It's just doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Typically, in the very beginning of business, there's a lot of fun stuff, there's a lot of unique stuff, there's always stuff going on. But eventually, once you actually are in business long enough and you run a real business, not a fucking made-up entrepreneur business, right? You run a real business, it's just the same boring things every single day, right? Fundamentally, okay, keep getting more clients, make sure your current clients are good, and keep improving your product. And then that's really it. And so fundamentally, you're doing the same activities for the most part of the entire day, unless you're on the creative side where you're implementing new ideas, et cetera. But then again, you don't implement new ideas all the time. It's very, very infrequent that you actually do new ideas. More often than not, it's not actually doing new things. It's just doing better or more of what you're currently doing, because that's what you really need to do. It's like the gym, for example. You don't need to go to the gym and do a new workout every single day. Like, no, you need to do more and better of the current workouts you're doing. So you don't need to go one day do incline, the next day do flat, the next day do flies, the next day, do converging chest press, and the next day do some other bullshit thing. No, you just need to do one of them. Granted, you obviously can do more, right? But let's just say you do incline dumbbells, and then you just, every single time you go back, try and do more and or better. Do more reps and or do better reps and or you do heavier weight, and you keep progressing and progressing and progressing. And it's really freaking boring. It is really boring. You do the same stupid exercise, you eat the same stupid food, you have the same stupid sleep schedule, and it's really boring. But guess what? That's where the success is. It's in the boring stuff. But if we circle back, the point I'm trying to make is I don't take cold showers very infrequently. Every now and then I do, just to prove to myself I can take it, or if I need an extra energy boost. But I don't sit there and rely on it. I don't rely on my cold showers to feed me with dopamine and whatnot, even though it's great for you. I know there's a lot of health benefits, and I probably should do it more. My point is that you don't need all this external stuff. You don't need to have so much of this external stuff people tell you to have, like all this biohacking and this supplement and that supplement and, drink your water this way and meditate this way and morning routine this way. Like, no, you need to get up and do the work that matters. Right now, granted, for context, take this with a grain of salt because this is in the context of just making money. If your primary goal is being healthy, do all that stuff. But I'm talking about making money, which most of you who talk to me all the time say you want to make more money, but yet you do everything but actually make more money. So I'm talking to you guys who actually want to make more money, who care about that, not more than anything because health is important, but who actually care about fucking making money in the first place. Not just people who say they want to make money, right? There's a lot of people who say they want to make money. There's few that mean it. Everyone says they want to make money, right? Go talk to a Tim Hortons drive-thru worker. They want to make money. Go talk to a McDonald's employee. They all want to make more money. Everyone has the same goal. But once again, if we're all standing on the 100-meter start line, only one person can win the race. Not everyone can. And so just because you have the same goal doesn't mean anything, right? If you're standing on the start line with Usain Bolt, you say, hey, man, I want to win. He's going to say, yeah, me too. It's not the person who has the biggest goal. It's the person who actually puts the action in, right? Everyone in this world wants to make more money. Everyone can say that. That's cool. It's do you actually do the actions? Do you actually put the work in? Do you do that? That's a question you have to ask yourself. For years, I didn't do that. I sat there and I just watched YouTube videos. I did stupid things that didn't matter, right? I even if I look back at my Google Calendar not too long ago, and I look at some of the stupid stuff that was in there. It was like, think about my business. Motherfucker, I didn't even have a business. I didn't have any clients. What was I thinking about? Like, what was there to think about? And it was like, research new sales technique. How many sales calls was I hopping on? 0. It was all this stupid made-up stuff to make me feel good about what I was doing. Right? It was like, read this book, study this thing, watch this YouTube video. To fuel myself and feel good because I wasn't actually closing clients or doing any business work. So I had to do other things and pretend that it was relating to my business to make me feel good. And that's what a lot of us do with books, with YouTube videos, etc. Is we watch a YouTube video going, oh, I'm watching this, I can learn more information so I can make my business better. But we just do it as a substitute for doing the work because it's easier. And then we pretend that it's for business. We say it is to make ourselves feel good about it. So when we go to bed, and someone asks us what we did. Oh, yeah, man, we studied. I worked all day. I studied new topics and learned new things. And they ask you in a month from now, yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, and the same thing, and the same thing. In a year from now, it's the same thing, and you still haven't made any more money. And in a game in entrepreneurship where the mile marker is money, it's not knowledge. Knowledge is great, but in entrepreneurship, people measure success primarily by money. Hey, how much money are you making now? They don't say, when you ask your buddies, hey man, how's it going? You don't say, so how much have you learned? Quantify how much you've learned. How much have you grown? You say, hey man, how's business going? How much money are you making? That's what everyone says, right? No one sits here and goes, so how much has your knowledge base grown? How much has your IQ gone up? No one talks about that stuff. They say, how much money are you making? Because that's how we measure success. That's how I measure success. That's how you measure success. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's how we measure success, even in this society, right? Oh, how much you make per hour? 22. Oh, I make 23. Right? It's all money. It's how we measure success. It's just the way it goes. Right? When someone has a nice car, you measure that person as successful and with status because we know it costs money to get that car. It's just the way the world works. It's just the way it operates. Okay? And so whether you like it or not doesn't fucking matter. Okay? You got to play the hand you're dealt. And this life we're given, that's the things we use to monitor and success and say if you're being successful or not. And so agree or disagree doesn't matter to me. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, okay? And so in a world that's not very forgiving and that tracks money, it's like, if you're not making money, what are you doing? Right? If you can't say you're an entrepreneur, but then not make any money, and when someone asks how it's going, yeah, good man, good, I'm just learning. Like, I understand there's a time and place for learning. I understand that, right? I'm someone who loves reading books, and I love, getting new knowledge and learning new things, but there's a time and place, and when you're making $0, your goal shouldn't be how can I learn more? It should be how can I just start making money? Like, that should be the goal. And it's not how can I learn about making money. It's how can I just start making money. Like, you just need to start and find a way to make some money. And the thing is, once you start making money, you'll have a ton of questions. And then maybe you learn. And then you find a way to make more money. And the cycle goes on and on and on and on and on. But a lot of people get the equation backwards. And they try and focus on everything but making money when their sole goal is money. Which I find really counterintuitive. It's like their sole goal is money. They really want money so they can have freedom to do whatever it is they want. But then they'll do everything but make money. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I can't fathom that idea. But I just want to share with you that all this stupid stuff you're doing doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the thing that will generate you money. MMA, money-making activities. That's all that matters. Fuck your cold showers, fuck your meditation, fuck your journaling, fuck your morning routines. And the thing is, if you're watching this, go in the comments. You'll see a bunch of people that are triggered about like, oh, but meditation is good. I'm not saying it's not good. As a matter of fact, journaling, gratitude, meditation, cold showers, really good for the body. Very, very, for the body, the mind, the soul, etc. Very, very good. But I'm talking purely from a money-making standpoint, which a lot of you say you want to make money, so I'm telling you how to make more money, right? From a purely money-making standpoint, most people don't do the right things. And they focus on the wrong things. And then they wonder why they make no money, but then when someone tells them why, they get mad. So when I say and tell you why you're not making money, you then get mad and try and defend it, right? They get mad, they defend the idea. But then they'll go search YouTube later, how to make money fast online. It's ironic. But they won't confront the actual issue at face value because it's hard. Because it's hard to sit here and go, wow, the last 5 weeks, 5 months, 2 years, 3 years of my life I've wasted because I've done everything but the thing that matters, and as a result, I have nothing to show for it. And so rather than admitting where someone is wrong, people would rather sit there and defend their beliefs and hate on other people than sit there and reflect on themselves and go, wow, maybe I was wrong. Maybe maybe my whole life has been a lie. Maybe I should change and try something else. They would rather sit there and hate and keep living a bad life than admit, put their ego aside, change, and then live a better life. Same with depression, right? People would rather sit here and defend the fact that they're depressed and depression is not a choice but rather a mental illness because they have it, instead of actually opening up their eyes and realizing that they can get better. I think people, I do believe, because I was diagnosed with depression, severe depression, anxiety, people choose to have depression. Because when you tell someone, hey, depression isn't real, if you tell a depressed person depression isn't real, the first thing they say is, fuck you, no, it is, you don't understand. That's the first thing they say, is to lash out. And I would say to them is, listen, do you like depression? And they go, no, it's the worst thing in the world, you would never understand. I go, then imagine if there was a world where depression wasn't real. Wouldn't you want to at least look at that and believe that? And they'll sit there and go, no, but that's not real, yeah. It's like, no, that's not the question. If there was a world, wouldn't you want to believe that? And they almost can't, because it means that they have to write off that last X amount of years of life as a lie and fundamentally rewire the way they see the world. That's why so many people, I believe, are and then stay depressed. Is because, we can talk, I have a bunch of videos on depression. If you haven't seen them, literally just type in my YouTube search bar, Stefan, and then depression, you'll see a bunch of videos on it, right? But the reason why people defend it so much is because even if they don't want to believe it, their whole life they've now believed they had depression, and they've warped and changed the way they live their life and their identity to fit into this depressed persona that they are, and they've made their life worse intentionally because of this. And so therefore, when someone comes along and says, hey, it's not real, even if that were true, they wouldn't want to believe it, because it means that they would have to sit there and go, wow, I fucked up, which is hard to say in and of itself, and I've wasted X amount of years of my life, and accept the fact that, they wasted time. And accepted the fact that, maybe the reason why they failed school wasn't because they're depressed, but maybe because it's just because they didn't try. But that's not something people want to admit to. And that's why they will sit there and defend depression like it is who they are and like it is something they love. And it's the same with entrepreneurship. It's the same when I sit here and talk about the cold shower stuff. People will defend this idea because they're so afraid to admit that they fucked up, that they've wasted time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So reflect, look back at your life and see if you've made perhaps the right decisions or the wrong decisions, and just know that it's your choice and you have the opportunity to change that if you so please. So it's up to you. If you have any questions, you can comment them down below. We can sit there and make fun of all the little fucking nerdy geeks who are entrepreneurs or brokies together, but I will answer any of your questions there. Otherwise, have a great night and or day and or evening and or afternoon, whatever time it may be that you're watching this. Peace.